time to wake up is now. So many have been trying to get to the truth. Out to your groups like Anonymous, 911truth.org, and wearechange.org, and Infowars.com. And now you are here at another radio that's the Minutemen Radio with the Mark Flood broadcast, a place where truth and freedom ring.
Hey, do you know about the USA? Do you know about the government? Can you tell me about the Constitution? Hey, learn about the USA. In 1787, I'm told our founding fathers did agree to write a list of principles for keeping people free. The USA was just starting out a whole brand new country, and so our people spelled it out, the things that we should be. And they put those principles down on paper and called it the Constitution. And it's been helping us run our country ever since then. The first part of the Constitution is called the Preamble and tells what those founding fathers set out to do. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. In 1787, I'm told our founding fathers all sat down and wrote a list of principles that's known the world around. The USA was just starting out a whole brand new country, and so our people spelled it out. They wanted a land of liberty, and the preamble goes like this. We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America, for the United States of America. It seems no one remembers just a few short years ago.
These are the steps that we must take.
There are plenty of steps we can take right now
to start getting our economy back on track,
to help create jobs and grow this economy.
If we are going to deal with our dependence on foreign oil,
if we're going to end our dependence on foreign oil,
we'll recruit an army of new teachers.
I want to recruit an army of new teachers.
make college affordable.
Make college more affordable
And repair our crumbling roads and bridges.
We've got crumbling roads and bridges.
Tonight, more Americans are out of work.
We still got friends out there, family, who are looking for work.
At a time when so many people are struggling to keep up.
A moment when so many people are still struggling.
If you are willing to work with me,
If you're willing to work even harder in this election,
then I promise you.
I promise you change will come.
Shall we play a game?
If you see something, say something. Report
reports suspicious activity to local authorities.
If you're not breaking the law, if you're not doing anything wrong, then you shouldn't worry what the government is doing.
Terrorism, 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 Al-Qaeda, Mohammed, terrorism, terrorism, war in Iraq, war in Afghanistan, Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden.
It's not like my government would ever do it to me, but guess what? You're wrong.
Protest is now illegal in the U.S. Move along, citizen.
And yet we just sit there and calmly say, oh, they're making us safe.
I don't even know whose side I'm on.
Okay, this is straight out of 1984. We're living in a police state.
I never had a choice of what happened to me.
The city is being turned into a police state. Militarized riot gear, LRAD machines, and drones overhead.
Corporations have more power than the government.
Our government now works for the banks.
America, the greatest losses to our freedom have come not from someone attacking us, but from the government ignoring the Constitution and the majority letting them get away with it.
Yeah, we torture. Yeah, we spy on them. Yeah, we do all of this, but it's no big deal. Get used to it. You know what? We're not going to get used to it.
Police have opened fire on the crowd.
We're all in serious, serious danger.
Millions of dollars spent on new police gear, trucks ready to function as rolling barricades.
What you have here is, this is the wars coming home.
If anybody doesn't believe this government is capable of doing these kinds of things, you're out of your mind.
Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again.
Well, you know, America's a strange country. All you need to keep them pacified is give them a dozen donuts and a gun. They don't seem to have the capacity, the intellectual capacity, to think of their own self-interest in any other way than the next 5 minutes.
It's time to wake up.
Wake up, America!
Wake up, America.
The proles, if only they could somehow become conscious of their own strength, would have no need to conspire. They needed only to rise up and shake themselves like a horse shaking off flies. If they chose, they could blow the party to pieces tomorrow morning. Surely sooner or later it must occur to them to do it. Until they become conscious, they will never rebel, and until after they have rebelled, they cannot become conscious.
The time is coming when the window for us to restore the control of our government to ourselves will close, and we had damn well better act before then.
You want to know why the American public is fit? They're fit because they're not seeing their Congress do the work that they're sent to do.
We need to demand more of our elected officials.
Damn bills that come out here all the damn time! Come out here in the last second! And I gotta try to figure out how to vote for my people!
They, in the excesses of power, they passed a bill that by their own admission, they hadn't read.
This is PR politics.
Unanimous consent that we bring up the bill to extend the tax cut for 160 million Americans
As you walk off the floor, Mr. Speaker, you're walking out.
If you want to stand up on the floor of the Senate and defend the Wall Street banks like Bank of America and the credit card companies, be my guest. I would rather stand with the consumers and retailers who've been taken to the cleaners for years and years.
Why aren't we questioning the underlying premise of the need for a bailout with taxpayers' money? Why aren't we passing new laws that stop the speculation which triggered this? Why aren't we directly helping homeowners with their debt burden? Why aren't we helping American families faced with bankruptcy? Why aren't we reducing debts for Main Street instead of Wall Street? Is this the United States Congress or the board of directors of Goldman Sachs?
When I fuck up, who bails me out? No one.
There is no one here to object. This is why the American people have thrown you out of power. You see, you're right. It is within your sole discretion to recognize a member. But you chose to exercise the power of the gavel, Madam Speaker. Therein lies the problem. If he's not here to pull off this political stunt, then we should just proceed and this bill should be withdrawn. It is the right thing to do by the American people to stop these tactics.
Enough! And make no mistake about it, this is not about national security.
But my point about this is a war without end. I'm afraid of giving up the right to trial by jury and hoping that someday they will declare an end to this war and they'll give back the right to trial by jury.
Mr. Speaker, a nationwide revolt is developing over the body scanners at the airports, and it should.
And we also know there are individuals who are making money off this. They say, trust us. Trust us, the people who brought us Katrina, to be competent in face of a disaster. Trust us, the people who brought us warrantless wiretapping and other excesses eroding our civil liberties. Trust us.
Many of us were told in private conversations that if we voted against this bill on Monday, that the sky would fall, the market would drop 2,000 or 3,000 points the first day, another couple thousand the second day, and a few members were even told that there would be martial law in America if we voted no.
We're not trying to scare kids. This president's foreign policy is what's scaring the kids of this country. Well, it's the same people that told us Saddam Hussein had something to do with 9/11. Same people that told us Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. Same people that told us we were going to be able to use the oil for reconstruction money. Same people that told us that we'd be greeted as liberators, not occupiers. Same people, same president that told us the Taliban is gone. Same president that told us that Poland is our ally 2 days before they pull out. Same president that tells us Iraq is going just great. Same president that tells us the economy is going just great. Same people that told us the tax cut was going to create millions of jobs. Same people that told us that the Medicare program only cost $400 billion when it really cost $540 billion. So please forgive us for not believing what you're saying. Please forgive the students of this country for not believing what you're saying. Not one thing about this war that has been told to the American people or that has been told to these college students has been true. Not one thing. Bremer says we need more troops. The Pentagon says we need more troops. And this president can't get them from the international community. There's only one option left. Let's be honest with the American people.
Fascism, by definition, is when corporations team up with organized religion and control the government. Do I have to say anything more? Wouldn't you say that we're on the brink if we're not there?
We're witnessing a slow and steady takeover of our true freedoms. And now we see the government taking over banks. We see the government taking over car companies, insurance. We're being told what cars we can drive, how much we can make. And now they want to take control of our health care.
It's one more attempt for them to put everything that we do day and night under the control of the federal government.
Are you willing to sacrifice your freedom for liberty?
Well, I say that they're taking away our free will. The American people are being forced to do something they don't want to do.
But there really is a difference between us, and it's basically this. We don't think the government should be in control of all of this. We want people to be in control. And that, at the end of the day, is the big difference.
What they are trying to do is create an America very unlike the America that has existed for centuries. The thing associated with America, freedom, is precisely what must be destroyed if this is to be turned into a fundamentally different country to suit Obama's vision of the country and of himself.
I think he's going way beyond his constitutional powers assigned to the executive branch, which is, by definition, an imperial president.
Once again, total power in one person's hands, not the American way.
He's centralizing power inside the Beltway, taking power and decision-making from families, from individuals, and as a consequence, what he's doing is building an unchecked executive.
Now, I hate to point fingers at anybody, but the President administration probably has a lot to do with that.
But you know who's responsible for it? We are. Personal responsibility.
Where is the outrage to come from? From you.
It turns out you're the knight in shining armor.
First, you got to get mad.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. It is time for us to take our country back.
The real problem is that the American people have been too submissive. We have accepted the notion that we should be treated like cattle. Make us safe, make us secure, put us in the barbed wire. It's time for the American people to stand up and shrug off the shackles of our government.
And the way I see it, they're not going to quit doing it until they bring this country to its knees. So I think we should all rise up and we should stop this administration from what they're doing because they're destroying this country.
We, the people, have got to get control back of our country.
The American people will revolt.
Our government sucks.
So what do you say? Maybe we should all just stop paying our taxes and revolt. Because this is bull.
When our forefathers wrote the Constitution with the right to bear arms, it was not about hunting and fishing. The Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, is there so that we, the public, if our government gets out of control, we have the ability to rise up and change it. Now, many people have said to me, well, wait a minute. How could we, the citizens, ever stand up to the U.S. government and their entire military might? Well, wait a minute. I got the answer. We threw everything we had at Vietnam, and they were nothing but a bunch of farmers with a few AK-47s, and they withstood it all. Don't ever allow anyone to tell you that it can't be done. It can be done.
To the government of the United States, those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. It is the constitutional right of the people to reform this government as we see fit. Over the past year, we have shown you what we are capable of. You can continue to resist us or you can allow us to exercise our rights. We truly hope you choose the latter so that we can peacefully return this country to the principles it was founded upon and restore power to the people. To the citizens of the United States, it is our goal to reform this current government with your help. We do not want anarchy. We do not want chaos. What we want is to restore power to the people. Governments are supposed to derive their powers from the consent of the governed. Over the next few months, we will be releasing a series of videos detailing our reformation plans. Idea Vote will give every American a voice. We ask from you to use your voices. This new world is not one that we wish to shape ourselves. This new world will be that of the people, and the choice is yours to make in what direction we will go.
Now you can get good quality made gifts from true veterans. No more will you have to keep shelling out your money to the fat corporate mongers that all they do is can keep you down. The globalists want you to spend all your hard-earned money, but why would you when you can go to the top Patriot stores around, and one of them are effyshopworld.webs.com, a complete line of military local gifts designed by 100% American. Stop catering to the globalists and stop catering to a crisis. Make a difference today. Go to effyshopworld.webs.com. Want to know what's going on? Want to get the inside scoop? Minutemen Radio, the Mark Fluid broadcast, will give you the stories that corporate media mongers will not tell you. Want the truth? Then go to fluidnews.webs.com. That's fluidnews.webs.com.
That for the first time in human history, for the first time in all of human history, almost all of mankind is politically awake. And these new and old major powers, face still yet another novel reality, in some respects unprecedented. And it is that while the lethality of their power is greater than ever, their capacity to impose control over the politically awakened masses of the world is at a historical low. I once put it rather pungently, and I was flattered that the British Foreign Secretary repeated this, as follows. Namely, in earlier times, it was easier to control 1 million people, literally. It was easier to control 1 million people than physically to kill 1 million people. Today, it is infinitely easier to kill 1 million people than to control 1 million people. It is easier to kill than to control.
What do you want? Power. What do you think is power? Whips, guns, money? You can't turn men into slaves unless you break their spirit, kill their capacity to think and act on their own. Tie them together, teach them to conform, unite, to agree, to obey. That makes one neck ready for one leash.
They had all this on the shelf somewhere. Ideas of things they would like to do. And they got 9/11 and they said, it's our chance. Go for it.
The Patriot Act supersedes, basically, is superseding the Constitution.
The U.S. military is making plans for a major outbreak of swine flu. Troops will be used to help civilian authorities.
The military has offered to be there to provide testing for H1N1 to the public and also to distribute vaccines once they've been developed.
Transmissions will resume. I try to keep us all down and hope that we will never see the truth around. Another promise, another scene, a package like to keep us trapped in greed. A green belts wrapped around our minds, an endless red tape to keep the truth confined.
Go back to bed, America. Your government has figured out how it all transpired. Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control again.
It's too late to complain. You should have complained at the beginning, when you at least had a chance.
Here you go, America. You are free to do as we tell you. You are free to do as we tell you.
The question is it safe? Expediency asks, the question is it politics? Vanity asks, the question is it popular? But conscience asks, the question is it right? And there comes a time when one must take a position that is neither safe, nor politic, nor popular, but he must do it because conscience tells him it is right.
There's a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers.
got to make it stop, and you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
I want you to get mad. I want you to get mad. I want you to get mad.
It has been said that when in the course of human events, an oppression so revolts its subjects that it becomes necessary to alter or abolish the means of that tyranny. Is it that time when our Bill of Rights is defiled every day? When our adventures abroad threaten our security at home? When the Federal Reserve keeps our free nation enslaved by debt? And now, our nation is drifting dangerously from freedom to fascism. So I have to ask, is it time?
You've got to get mad!
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, now you see what's what. These people, I've gotten multiple sources from all kinds of avenues. Okay, these people gotta be stuffed, and you do have to get mad. You have to get mad enough to where you're gonna sit there and say, enough is a friggin' enough. That's it. You're the boss. You're the boss. They're the fucking slaves. Make them do their job or get them out. Okay? And now I'm going to tell you exactly why. It's because right now we live in the age of technology. This last story we're going to send to you is a debate that was going on between digital media, which is all over, which is us, on the net, all over the place, against print. And listen to the debate. Now, I don't know if you're going to agree with everything, but reality-wise, digital media versus print, I think the digital media has the bigger advantage. And you're going to find out right after these messages. Want to know what's going on? Want to get the inside scoop? Minutemen Radio, the Mark Fluid broadcast, will give you the stories that corporate media mongers will not tell you. Want the truth? Then go to fluidnews.webs.com. That's fluidnews.webs.com. Now you can get good quality made gifts from true veterans. No more will you have to keep shelling out your money to the fat corporate mongers that all they do is can keep you down. The globalists want you to spend all your hard-earned money, but why would you when you can go to the top Patriot stores around, and one of them are FEShopworld.webs.com, a complete line of military local gifts designed by 100% American. Stop catering to the globalists and stop catering to a crisis. Make a difference today. Go to FEShopworld.webs.com.
A big hello and a very warm welcome to a special edition of Brand Equity with me, Sonali Krishna. Today we're going to dive straight into a very interesting and heated debate. The IAA, that's the International Advertising Association's India chapter, has introduced a new initiative called the IAA Debates. The debates intend to bring back the old classical style of debating and will delve into subjects that are pertinent to the media, marketing and advertising fraternity. The first of the series was whether print and TV are losing relevance with the growth of digital media. So let me not waste any more time. Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes and ears and enjoy.
So most of us in this room have been privy to a large number of discussions and debates. And I'm sure most of you would agree with me that, usually discussions and debates leave a lot to be desired, whether it's in terms of content, context, or even actually taking a stance. So what we're doing this time round is something quite radical, and the speakers are very excited. We hope you're excited as well. We've decided to shake up the format a bit, and hopefully this very ruthless setup will ensure that the best arguments come to the fore, leaving no room for ambiguity. Let me first present the motion in the House today. Print and TV are losing relevance with the growth of digital. Let me now introduce the two teams. Standing for the motion is Virginia Sharma, Vice President, Marketing and Communications, India and South Asia. Virginia. Partnering her is the one and only Mahesh Murthy, founder Pinstorm and co-founder Seed Fund. On the opposite side of the bench are the big boys of Indian media. Arunabh Das Sharma, Executive Director and President of the Benetton Coleman Group, Arunab. And partnering him is Sanjay Gupta, CEO of Star India. First and foremost, to all you esteemed members of the IAA and of course members of the audience, you are today not mere spectators but also the jury, judge and executioner, because at the end of this debate it is you who will decide who wins today. Is it Team A or Team B, for or against? So now what I want you to do is I want everybody who's for the motion to please move to the my right hand side. Okay, and everybody who's against the motion, please shift and move to the my left hand side. And with that, I now call upon the first speaker for the motion to make his opening argument. That's Mahesh Murthy.
This debate is about digital and not about the internet. And digital includes SMS, mobile and the internet. If you look at the census report and not at TAM, I used to be in television, so we all know TAM can be bought, right? You will see very clearly, right, that today if you take rural India, there's only 33% of rural homes in India that have television. As it so happens, 54% of rural homes have the mobile phone already. And if you take the way it was 10 years ago, that number was even lower. If you take the overall move, rural plus urban, TV used to be at 32% penetration in 2001. TV has grown. It's at 47% right now, according to the census. But mobile has grown from 9% in 2001 to 56% today. Mobile today is already 25% larger in terms of penetration across Indian households, and especially in rural, it's already 50% larger. TV is there, according to the census, in 111 million homes. According to the same census, the mobile phone is there in 133 million homes, already 20% more. If you look at individual mobile phone data from TRI, that's 500 million mobile phones, 400 million users of SMS, 900 million SIM cards. You look at it anyway, Google's monthly usage of 125 million, Facebook's declared 62 million, and look at that in comparison to any single print publication. If you look at it from a consumer's point of view, the three most desired audiences from an advertiser's point of view are the 15 to 24 youth, the 25 to 34 female, and the 35 plus executive. 15 to 24, we all know, we don't even need to go much beyond the point that this is an age group that barely reads the paper or watches TV. This is really the digital age group, the new generation that's coming up. 25 to 34 female. Facebook alone has 11 million of those. I don't think any other single medium in India can give you that access through a single publication of that numbers of people in 25, 34 female SEC AB. And 45 plus, it would be hard pressed to reach a CEO today unless you're on his iPad or on his BlackBerry or on his email or on his iPhone or on his smartphone. If you go from there to advertisers, you can see again very quickly the next point. Even as little as 2 years ago, all of digital was 2% of the ad budget of the Indian advertising power, 25,000 crores. In 2 years, that 2% has become 8.5%. Today, we're at 2,600 crores out of 30,000 crores. Digital has grown by 400%, while the share of television, the share of print has gone down in each of these years. We'll come now to the next point.
Mahesh claimed that the television share had come down. Actually, television share has moved up from 36% to 43% in the last 5 years.
Even if I take the growth of consumption, the growth of the entire newspaper industry is 4% year over year. The growth of digital, just in urban areas is 19%. 4% factually incorrect. 4% data is actually from data from Samir Jain's interview. You're aware of the man in the New Yorker.
I am aware of the man. We have Sam Balsara sitting here who does this wonderful report called Pitch Madison.
That's okay. So
no rebuttals. No rebuttals.
Sure, right. So this is Samir Jain's data from his interview in the New Yorker. So he could be wrong. So it's very possible.
Sure, he can be wrong.
Even if I look at it from a credibility point of view, Nielsen in their global study, which includes India, has made it very clear that in their studies across India, the most credible medium is word of mouth, followed by what strangers write online, followed by what is written on websites, and fourth comes print editorial. I will end on a very simple and straightforward note. Ask yourself, every one of you, where will your future be? 5 years from now, will you seek a job in a company that doesn't do digital? And the honest answer to that question should determine where you sit at the end of this debate.
Thank you very much, Mahesh. And now for the opening speaker, Arunab.
What we are discussing here, Madam Chairperson, members of the jury and the audience, and my esteemed opponents, what we are really discussing here is a couple of things. One is, what is relevance? Is relevance ad dollars? is relevance about X% mobile penetration, or is relevance about what these media stand for or have stood for the longest time? The one thing digital has done to the overall ecosystem is that it has created proliferation of choice. And when that happens, big becomes bigger. And in that sort of situation, everything grows and nothing loses relevance. It's a question of how the entire ecosystem grows. In the 1950s, when radio was going to kill print, there was this whole thing of electronic media, print will die. Print was 450 years old by then already when radio came in. Then came the 1970s. Well, television was killing radio. I mean, Queen was making songs about it, for Christ's sake. Video killed the radio star and all the rest of it. Print, of course, was already dead by then. None of that happened. And none of that happened for a reason. And there is a reason why different media play different roles in our lives. And we ourselves will be very, very myopic if we assume that television is linked to a cathode ray tube or newspaper is linked to a piece of paper that it's printed on. There have been people...
Is your motion that news, TV and print continue to be relevant, or that they are growing in relevance?
The topic needs to be perhaps redefined, not only as whether print and TV are losing relevance, but whether digital will ever gain relevance. But that's a separate issue. 2012, I don't think the print companies got the memo that they are unfashionable. 2012 actually saw some of the biggest gains in stock prices of the print companies globally. And the last point was that there is a gentleman we know by various names, Oracle Omaha, etc., a guy who just bought Heinz. What a lot of people don't realize is that he just bought a bunch of regional newspapers, and this is the US, because he believes that the growth of print will continue to happen through hyper-local and regional papers, which is exactly what is happening in India.
We're now going to go to Virginia, who's the second speaker for the motion. Virginia, I request you to start with the rebuttals first, and then, of course, highlight the flag off your key points, and then start.
So I'd like Anurag for really helping us make the case very, very strong. Some points that I found very, very interesting, which is this definition of what does relevance mean. In today's world, relevance means business impact. The second point about the fact that digital has created a platform of choice, which we do agree, it has therefore increased the relevance of the medium because it has increased choice. So two big cases about the business case. Number one, the primary metric, according to the CMO study from 2011, for marketeers for success is ROI. You can measure ROI based on your ability to understand customers and target them with what they need. You can only measure digital better than you can measure print and TV. You can understand customers better on digital than you can on TV and print. And therefore, the future of marketing, where ROI is going to be the primary measure for success, is going to have to be digital if they want to make the case. Go ahead.
I think the challenge is not about measurement. Challenge is about how does it impact behavior and conversion. That's what a medium works.
I totally agree. And the way you measure impact and behavior is through measurement. 67% of Indians are using web online reviews to make purchases, but they're not actually purchasing. Online retail is fourth. Number one use of digital is really social, where they're communicating preferences in brands, followed by entertainment, followed by portals, and then there's retail. So commerce is just one part of it. So just to wrap up, the business case is very simple. If you want to prove ROI, if you want to keep your jobs with your CEOs, you have to invest in digital as a key medium to be able to reach your consumers, and ultimately that's going to be the medium for the future.
Thank you, Virginia. Sanjay, over to you.
When I started working 20 years back, I heard print is going to die and TV will win. And 20 years later, print is roughly around 14,000 crores, grown up from 6,500 crore in 2004. So the business growing relevance, fundamentally the point that Virginia made, is about ad dollars. They've grown dramatically. For TV, it has grown from 5,000 crore to 16,000 crore. 700 million people in this country spend 3 hours every day watching television. And when they start watching television, they spend 2 hours. After a few years, they start spending 3 hours. And that's increasing over the last few years. Not only that, in last 1 year, 70 million new people have started watching television. That's more than the number of people who watch digital today at any given point of time in a month. So this medium is growing. In UK, if I look at, which is a developed market, yes.
The census says there's only 111 million television sets. I hope you're not quoting TAM on this. And
I think
we need to quote credible numbers out here, not numbers of any company owned by WPP, right?
I'll pass that. I'll move on to UK data, which is the Nielsen data. People spend 4 hours a day watching television in UK. The second thing is, big is becoming bigger on television. The big data, let me point out, Dabangg movie, which got aired on Star Plus, had 150 million viewers who saw that movie in those 3 hours. And that tells you the power of big and bigger content. If at all, the point that I want to make is that social media is actually helping business become bigger and better. And I agree. Digital medium, for example, ZTV, when they did Dance India Dance, the show grew dramatically last time because they used the power of the missed call for people to build characters. And there is no better way to get people to say, yes, love our characters. But when they love our characters, they come on television and watch those characters.
But your numbers are extraordinarily and deeply flawed. If they're coming from TAM, it doesn't make sense.
Personally, I think, looking back on a lot of comments that you made, you have a very distorted view of this industry. Let me complete. Don't respond. Saying that TAM is a data which is incorrect is absolutely fallacious statement. Yeah, we may have challenges on whether we believe the data or not. But we cannot be making statements which are completely untrue.
Is it content that drives behavior and interest, or the medium?
It's the content. So the content of TV is so powerful. And let me quote, on UK, people watch 20 minutes of video. And out of that, 80% of that is either porn or YouTube. That's the power of that medium. Let me move now to what is changing. Digitization is really changing the way television companies do business. Fundamentally, it's all about generating money to invest back. Till now, only 20% of revenues from the digital medium, from the value chain, came to Star India or any other broadcaster. With transparency of DTH and digitalization, which means a set-top box, fundamentally that is moving from 20 to 100%. So the subscription revenues of TV companies will grow with 5 times. And what does it give us? The power to invest in content, power to make it even better and bigger. And that really makes it even more relevant in future. Important question is, today TV and print bring meaningful content to people. It is curated content, it is guided content, and people need that guidance every day when you go back home. You don't want to sit down and plan one more thing for yourself after working hard. The real question is, in my mind, between content, aggregators and devices. Digital as a medium today is just an aggregator of content.
For the closing argument, the team against the motion will go first. So I believe Arunabh is closing. So over to you.
Statistics say a picture, give a picture. For every 137 million users of internet, there is 181 million users of print. There is 700 million users. Statistics be damned. The fact of the matter is, both these media are huge and growing. If they were not, then we could turn around and say they are losing relevance. The next round of growth is already visible to us. It is coming from regional markets, it's coming from regional languages, it's coming from access points which would take, because of our infrastructural issues, the digital world to reach. It will take a few years, and until such time, I think our friends in the digital world would do really well to figure out what kind of content creates stickiness, what kind of content keeps your readers going for 175 years. The day one of these new digital media completes 175 years in the form and the fashion that they started, then we should talk. Thank you very much.
We now call upon the speaker who is standing for the motion to present his or her closing argument. Virginia, would you?
Thank you. Print is going digital. TV is going digital. You heard that today. You heard decision makers going digital in how they're making decisions and asking marketeers to spend money. Politicians are going digital. So the world is going digital, and the big question is, which side of the aisle are you going to sit on? And no, digital does not want to be the medium that it was 175 years ago, or 111 years ago, or 101 years ago. Digital wants to keep up with the times as well as keep up with the generation that it's catering to, and it will constantly evolve. It has no ego for change, and it will make money regardless of the shape it'll take, because it'll mold to what the future will be. So the question is, are you ready for the future, and you're ready to go digital?
Okay. I'm not going to open it up to all of you, so I'm going to take audience questions. So anyone who wants to question Team A, that's for the motion, raise your hand.
What the motion is saying is, it's not saying that digital is not growing, or that Sam is not using digital, or that Sam is not watching television. As I understood it, what is clearly being said in the motion, which is why I'm sitting here, is that digital and TV are losing because of digital. Don't you think you're missing a point there?
There are only 24 hours in a day. And if you are going to give up 5 hours of your time or 4 hours of your time to all the digital things you do, the relative relevance... Remember,
Sir, you got your facts wrong. Clear data shows that if I
Don't quote TAM again, Sam.
If I spend an extra hour, if you have a problem with TAM, that's your problem, not mine.
Okay.
Because I spent 12,000 crores based on TAM. I don't know on what data you spend on digital. But print and TV collectively in India are very strongly sort of settled, and they are growing. They're growing in rural. I don't think these two gentlemen will be able to hold their jobs and earn the fancy salaries and bonuses that they earn if it was not growing. They belong to very highly profitable organizations. They're growing year on year.
So Sam, just to add to that, when you think about the 100 purely in terms of marketing dollars and budgets, the movement towards spending on digital is not coming from sales enablement money or commissions for sellers or from salaries of people. It's actually a shift from TV and print to digital.
How many companies, including print and TV, can afford to not be digital and to not invest in digital today? And how many of the digital successful companies in India, including the ones that were offline and now are online, or Yahoo's, MSN's, Facebook's of life, has used TV or print to grow?
Every single print and television company that I know of is making big moves and big investments to digital. Very, very few digital companies I know are spending any money either setting up a TV channel or advertising hugely on print.
Thank you, Mahesh and Virginia. We're closing really questions for Team A, the team for the motion, and we're opening questions for against the motion. Yeah, okay, that was very enthusiastic. Hands up, please go ahead.
Sanjay, you quoted encouraging numbers for TV from UK. Can you quote any numbers for print, maybe from UK or US? How are they going?
I'll tell you, I can quote the numbers from US in print. Because in print, actually, the viewership on print has been declining in the US for the last few decades. But the ad dollars, let me complete, ad dollars have been declining even faster. Fundamentally, what has changed? If you look at the growth or decline over the last 50 years, it is not that at a certain point of time it has fallen down. Fundamentally, what has happened in print in specific is that the classified advertising money has moved from print to possibly digital. But equally, subscription money that print companies are making in US is growing. Because consumers still want that newspaper in the morning.
The problem in the US was not digital at all. The problem in the US was their business model. The problem in the US was that they did not figure out a way to get the newspaper under your door in a manner that we in India are able to.
Can you remember the last, or any one ad you've seen on digital in the last 1 month?
On digital?
Yes.
No, I don't. But I remember the ad that I saw this morning on the Times of India and yesterday on Star Plus.
Thank you. You will be casting your vote with swapping of seats. If you're sitting in the place where you're convinced, remain seated. Yeah. So 42 for against the motion and 34 for the motion, which means that this motion does not stand and this team actually...
Quality made gifts from two veterans. No more will you have to keep shelling out your money to the fat corporate mongers that all they do is can keep you down. The globalists want you to spend all your hard-earned money, but why would you when you can go to the top Patriot stores around, and one of them are effyshopworld.webs.com, a complete line of military local gifts designed by 100% American. Stop catering to the globalists and stop catering to a crisis. Make a difference today. Go to effyshopworld.webs.com. Want to know what's going on? Want to get the inside scoop? Minutemen Radio, the Mark Fluitt broadcast, will give you the stories that corporate media mongers will not tell you. Want the truth? Then go to fluidnews.webs.com. That's fluidnews.webs.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Okay, as you can see, there's been a lot of information that's been coming up on the web. There's been a lot of information. We have the power. We're the ones who are going to have to rise up. We're the ones, and we have the ability. Okay? Do not listen to the naysayers. Do not listen to the dum-dums, because it is our fault, but it's also their fault for still being asleep and being stupid. Okay? There's no way in heck that our country would have gotten this bad if everybody was awake a long time ago. But that's neither here nor there. It's time. It's time. We have a job to do. We have a responsibility. As citizens of the Republic of the United States, we have a responsibility. And that responsibility is to restore our Constitution, to restore our country, what the Founding Fathers wanted, and what the Founding Fathers put into it. Okay? There's a lot of people talking about it. Jesse Ventura, Alex Jones, Ted Nugent, every single person out there knows, including some of the media. You got the congressmen sitting in Congress yelling and screaming at these people. So, you know, if you can't get it through your head, if you're that stupid, what good are you? You're useless. You serve no purpose. You're brain dead because you're not doing your obligation as an American citizen. You have a responsibility to get this country back in order. So do I, and so does everybody else. It is time we do it. The time for talk is done. The time for action is now. We are going to do it because this is our country. This is what the Founding Fathers wanted. They believed in each individual freedom. They didn't believe in having our freedoms limited. They didn't believe in having our freedoms taken away. That's why the document they wrote disempowered the idiots so they wouldn't be able to do it again. And now they're writing these laws where the language is it's so ambiguous. It's not written in clear and simple language where they have an alternative agenda in it. All you have to do is read these laws and you can see the loopholes that they can get through. It's pathetic, and it never should have gotten this far. These bankers know what they're doing. They are complete, utterly criminals. That's what they are. They're criminals. And they should not even be where they're at, okay? And a lot of those people complain, yeah, when we screw up, do we get bailed out? I don't see the government bailing us out. Why would you bail out a bank? If a business fails, it fails. It's that simple. I don't see any government bailing out some of the other smaller mom and pop shops. Some of those mom and pop shops are a lot better than the corporates. They treat you like a guest. They treat you nice. I'll give you an example. When I was over here in Idaho, I went over there to a hotel, and that hotel person was probably the best that I've ever seen as far as an employee is concerned, because that's the way I want to be treated when I'm on vacation. Okay? As soon as I came down to the lobby,
something